सनी सर बस उदय सर को बोलो ना कि उनके वॉलंटियर्स यूट्यूब में रखें.
Uday sir, please just have 1 or 2 volunteers on your YouTube. I mean on YouTube as well, no? So that if there are questions, they could be answered.
आनंद जी, आनंद गारपुरे साहब. Not yet joined.
Good morning. Good morning, Kiran.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Abhay.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, Dr. Sanjay Gandhi.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
good morning, Donna, sir.
Good morning, sir.
पाऊस पडतोय का नाशिकला?
हो यस, आवाज पोचतोय. तुमचा आवाज बुलंद आहे सर.
Good morning, Rahul.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
How are you doing? You're in or Bangalore or Singapore?
No, I'm in Bangalore.
Bangalore, okay. So this is, we are excited to listen from you the whole story.
Looking forward to it, sir.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Start sharing. Yeah, start sharing. Yes. Abhay, sir. Abhay, Satyanarayana, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, our chief guest Rahul Cherry had arrived.
Hey, welcome, Rahul.
Good morning, Rahul.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome, Rahul.
Good morning to all.
Morning, Rahul, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning, Rahul.
Good morning, Rahul. Oh, yes, Rahul.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah,
Right,
fine.
right. After a long time.
Yeah.
Good morning, Rao sir.
So we are
Good
on
morning,
live
sir.
now.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Gande sir.
Good morning, sir.
Looking smart.
Within 2 minutes, we'll begin the session.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. New appearance, new look.
Yeah. Kiran sir, new appearance, new look.
New, yes. Okay, we'll begin. Start.
A very good morning to one and all. On behalf of IEEE Bombay Section, Premier Academic Institutes, and professional organizations, we welcome you all to the IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp 2021. This intensive 6-day program aims to trigger the entrepreneurship bugs in the minds of young budding professionals. Whether you are working or in business, your success depends on your mindset, and this bootcamp is structured to make you think as an entrepreneur.
In India, it is a tradition to light a lamp before the deities prior to any auspicious task known as Deepak, Jyoti, or Jyot, which represents Agni. The lighting of the lamp removes darkness, ignorance, unhappiness, and spreads the Almighty's grace and divine energy in the surroundings. The action of lighting a lamp is regarded as bowing to knowledge.
We now request the video be played.
Thank you for the video. If you're working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. the vision pulls you. We hope these wise words of Steve Jobs help you look through the challenges and complete the program.
We would like to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Rahul Chari, founder and CTO of PhonePe, to support and encourage us. We would also like to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. B. Satyanarayana, Chair of IEEE Bombay Section and Scientific Officer at TIFR Mumbai.
Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. This event would not have breathed into life without the efforts of our executive members.
Dr. B. Satyanarayana, Chair, IEEE Bombay Section and Scientific Officer, TIFR Mumbai.
Dr. D. Suryanarayana, Immediate Past Chair, IEEE Bombay Section and Professor at IIT Bombay.
Mr. Anand Gharpure, Chair-elect of IEEE Bombay Section.
Mr. Abhay Fansikar, Vice Chair at Industrial Relations IEEE India and Past Chair at IEEE Bombay Section.
Dr. Saurabh Mehta, Secretary at IEEE Bombay Section and Chief Academic Officer at Vidyalankar Institute of Technology, Mumbai.
Dr. B. N. Chaudhary, Principal at Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, Mumbai and Chairman at Sardar Patel Technology Business Incubator, Mumbai.
Dr. S. T. Gandhe, Principal of Sandeep Institute of Technology and Research Center and CEO at Sandeep TBI, Nasik.
Last but not least, Dr. Vikram Patil, Director at Anna Saheb Dange College of Engineering and Technology, Astha, Sangli.
This event found its footing under the amazing and meticulous direction of our General Chair, Professor Kiran Telele. He is also the Treasurer at IEEE Bombay Section, Associate Professor at Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, and Head of Academic Relations at SPTBI, Mumbai. Under the wings of Mr. Dinesh Israni, Program Chair at IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp and founder of Naman Angels India Foundation, this event has reached its great heights as you now see it to be. We now request Kiran sir and Dinesh sir to brief us about the program. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning. IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp 2021 is an initiative of IEEE Bombay Section in association with premier academic institutes and professional organizations. This bootcamp is structured to make you think as an entrepreneur. We hope the bootcamp will trigger the entrepreneurship bugs in the minds of young budding professionals.
Good morning, everybody. So this bootcamp is actually a journey. In this journey, we start with making you realize what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what you want to do. We channelize your strengths, create your goals on the first 2 days, help you generate your ideas, understand if the ideas are an opportunity. And once you know that your idea is an opportunity, we help you develop a business model and a business plan around it. We end up with training you and guiding you how your business and your idea can be secured using the IPR. So it's a journey. Sit back and enjoy. Be a part of all the activities that we give you. These activities will help you widen up and it'll help you start thinking in the entrepreneurship direction. So that's the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dinesh sir and Kiran sir. We would now like to welcome all our esteemed speakers. Judika D. Cruz, Raina Tandon, Ms. Neelam Kamthe, Pranav Chavre, Vikrant Putnis, Pankaj Sikka, Chandraban Singh, Arpana Mishra, Abhishek Pandurangi, and Sia Lala.
We express our sincere gratitude to all the associate partners without whom this event would have not been possible. Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, Sandeep Institute of Technology and Research Center, Vidyalankar Institute of Technology, Anna Sahib Dange College of Engineering and Technology, Sardar Patel Technology Business Incubator, Sandeep Technology Business Incubator, and Naman Angels India Foundation.
We will now inaugurate the event by ribbon cutting. We request our honorable chief guest, Mr. Rahul Chari, to instruct our volunteers to play the graphics for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Waiting for your confirmation, sir.
Please go ahead and open the event up.
Thank you, sir. With pleasure, I now invite Dr. B. Satyanarayana to deliver the opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words. At the outset, I must confess that I'm quite an outsider into the main theme of this conference, the event, namely entrepreneurship. I come quite far away from there, but maybe next 2 minutes, I'll try to kind of connect up in some way. But more than that, firstly, congratulations to the entire team that has put together this wonderful program. And of course, the main mover and shaker is Kiran Talale. I will say a few words at the end. But let me kind of say or share a few of my thoughts, as I said, as a completely an outsider, which has nothing much to do with the main theme of the event today. Over the centuries or maybe decades, whether it's scientists or technologists, engineers, I've always helped the humanity to make huge challenges in a varieties of large number of areas. I mean, I don't have to list those areas which are, I think, already somewhere there in your brochure. Now, these advances, besides making, let us say, certain individuals, certain corporates, certain countries wealthier ones, but you should remember they also improved the general quality of life of a large section of the societies, the people. I mean, that is what the prosperity is. And to some extent, this connect has come up so well in the tagline of IEEE by saying advanced technologies for humanity, that no matter what you work on and how much money you make or what rapid strides that you make in your own field, the ultimate beneficiary is always a man on the street, a person on the street. But what you would generally see if you really look at the history of all these things that happen, you'll find that there is a huge bottleneck in converting, let us say, if I can say, discoveries into inventions. And equally crucial aspect is how to convert an invention into a product. Now, when you say product, a product that is optimized in many, many ways. And one of the biggest optimization, of course, is cost. Unless the product becomes cost effective, nobody buys it. So the discovery and the invention and all that things just abruptly stop somewhere. There are other attributes of how products are considered to be successful. Sometimes maybe power, maybe size, maybe weight, and maybe many other user interfaces and so on and so forth. So there is usually a large gap that happens between science, technology, engineering, and commercialization. Since I come from a field which we work on some of these principles, so I can't stop giving examples from my domain. How do you convert Maxwell's equations into cell phone technology, or Einstein theory of relativity into GPS, or maybe photoelectric effect into solar energy? And you can keep on listing out. Remember one thing, that the discoveries do not deliver prescriptions for production of goods. Discoveries are absolutely something which didn't exist before, and you would like to really brought something which the laws of nature are supposed to be governed by this. I can't stop giving this example of J.J. Thomson about 125 years ago, when he just then discovered the so-called electron. And then apparently, I'm not sure if this is a story or maybe a fiction, but it doesn't matter. It will deliver the point that I want to deliver. That someone asked that, okay, Thomson, it's fine. You discovered some particle negatively charged, blah, blah, much lower in weight compared to mass, compared to proton, etc. Now, what is the use of this electron? Apparently, he said that, across the road, there is a hospital and there is just now as we are talking, there is a child that was born. If I ask you, what is the use of the child? So will you be able to tell me? Of course, nobody will tell what is the use of a child when a child is born, after seconds. Now, if I give a lecture to you, what are the applications of electrons today? You will all laugh at me, and you will actually say that, sir, the very existence of that we are talking today, we exist today in this world is just by that little particle. Okay. So, of course, since as scientists, we have to go and talk to people at large and, in the outreaches and in the science popularization, we keep on going and talking about, oh, look at this WWW that was discovered in one of our labs. Look at the aviation trains run by superconductivity. We discovered them. Look at the silicon technology for imaging detectors. Today, you can't think of that. For all your IoT systems in agriculture, medicine, and so on and so forth. Oh, look at this pattern recognition system, learning system, AI systems, ML, DL systems. These are all discovered in science labs as something which we require to do our bread and butter work and so on and so forth, right? And, we keep talking about this quite often. And we also say, look at so much of these applications and devices and sensors. They have become a big say today in all the applications that you see. But the problem come back to the same thing, right? So the thing is, how does one minimize the time from discovery, which sometimes takes 100 years, sometimes takes 50 years, sometimes takes 30 years. How do you build something from almost like a scientific fiction into a product in somebody's hands is where I think the boot camps like this will go a long, long way. And especially when it gets connected to students, I think it really helps shortening the gaps between science, technology, and technology, engineering to, let us say, commercialization and so on. Remember, I mean, the toughest part of any of this chain is, product development, product prototyping, product pricing, product marketing. Nobody kind of sitting in science labs or applied research labs would ever even realize what it takes for a product to come from discovery to invention to, finally coming out to the hands of things. Even if some of the, large number of them, I mean, the students who are probably the beneficiary of today's program, even if they don't end up startups, don't end up starting something venture. But I think the skills that the students or the participants are going to gain today are going to be a big help, both technical skills or soft skills that will be, I think, invaluable even if they happen to join a corporate, because it actually helps them have a great head start and, vantage position compared to their peers in the companies. And remember, this is also the best time in the country, if I can really say, without going into details, for such kind of, there exists an excellent ecosystem thanks to probably very good, government support and, for the entrepreneurship or related ecosystems. I think this is, in that sense, it is very, very apt that IEEE bomb section and, thanks to all the supporting institutions and industries which are also coming in, helping. And, in the areas, there are huge areas. I see a fantastic coverage of the topics, and it's never going to be easy to kind of cover up this entire space. But I must really single out to kind of say a few words about Kiran. Of course, Kiran is known to be a big magnet to attract, whether it is students, whether it is people like all of you who are on the stage, and a fantastic organizer. It's a mind-boggling to see numbers like 4,000 participants, 12 top-class speakers. And what is most heartening is the speakers have a big variety from experience to energetic, also covering such a nice way to gender bias and so on and so forth. I think it is very nice. You have programs, by top speakers, very inspiring sessions, some of the do-it-yourself kind of things, etc. It's again, I think, big congratulations should go to Kiran and also the big team. And as I said, all the institutions and organizations, which have come forward. I'm sure the organizations will benefit as much as the participants in terms of the visibility and leverage, the deliverables that you're going to have at the conference. Just at the end, I really want to give a little bit of publicity. IEEE Bombay section later this year and early next year are going to organize many big events, apart from, of course, the events that go on like this, what you have today. We have major conference of the section called IBSS. We also have a region, level event which is happening in Bombay section called 10SIM 2022 next year. There is also a conference called IndisCon, which is happening at Nagpur subsection. So there's lots of big ticket items, big ticket conferences that are happening in this section. So we invite and we want to request all of these organizations which are part of this program to come and partner and make these other conferences to a big success. I'm sure like what is going to be for this. So with this words, I would once again thank the entire team of the bootcamp and also all of you on the call. And I wish the program a grand success. And thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. It definitely helped us clear a lot of things that we are about to see in the upcoming sessions that will follow. So now I would request Mr. Abhay Phansikar to take the floor and throw light on the theme of the bootcamp. Abhay, sir?
Yeah, welcome everyone to this Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. The theme of this event is nurturing the mind for entrepreneurship. So if the entrepreneurship bug has bitten you or is about to bite you, or if you are looking at starting a new company, your own startup, this experience will show you the path and make you prepare for that entrepreneurial activity which you want to take forward. The response to this event is stupendous. So I'll say now take off for this exciting journey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir, for explaining it so beautifully. I now request Mr. Anand Gharpure to declare the IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp.
Good morning to you all. Before I declare it open, I would like to make a couple of minutes, take off a couple of minutes of important this session. Well, IEEE is always known for entrepreneurship. And we have in the past, when even the entrepreneurship word was not there, our past shares like Sonawalas from Hinditron or Aswin Jagatias from our section, who were the entrepreneurs themselves. So IEEE has always promoted the entrepreneurship. In fact, so back in 2018-19, we have done a similar product, whereas we have done entrepreneurship and startup opportunities program. So if we can say in layman terms, maybe that was the 12th of the entrepreneurship, and this particular camp will be like a master UG course. I take this opportunity on the wide stage that Professor Kiran sir, we have to take this one step forward again by organizing a startup camp. This is an entrepreneurship bootcamp. This is only the ideas where the ideas are being pitched. But once you have the idea, once you select an idea, how to take it one size further is entrepreneurship from where to start a bootcamp. And maybe we can also think of having a doctoral camp sort of thing where we can, for one stage layer above where angel funding, seed funding can be also thought of. So essentially that is the journey from where an engineer to an entrepreneur. All this can be achieved using the Bombay section's networking, contacts, and details. As I said, considering today's basic audience, it's very beautiful time to start an entrepreneurship journey because you are too young, you got very, very low liabilities, huge opportunities, and more importantly, you have got time, energy, and so this is the correct time if you want to get into an entrepreneurship journey. And last but not the least, it's said that if you start with nothing and end up with nothing, nothing is lost. So this is one of the best opportunities time available to start in the bootcamp. So I, Anand Gharpure, Chair-elect IEEE Bombay section and the guest of honor hereby declare the event as started. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of all the attendees, we are really looking forward to this journey with IEEE. To motivate you all with his immense knowledge and valuable insights, today we have with us a serial entrepreneur with over 18 years of experience covering the consumer internet and enterprise software space.
It is a proud privilege to welcome Mr. Rahul Chari, founder and CTO of PhonePe. He built the stack for e-cart logistics at Flipkart before he went on to build PhonePe, India's first non-banking payment platform. Today, the three-time entrepreneur has immense experience in storage visualization, content management, and supply chain technology.
He has a strong background in building world-class tech platforms. He is continuously scaling the systems to deal with hypergrowth and evolving the processes and practices to meet the demands of a fast-growing organization. Sir, thank you so much for sparing your time to be here with us today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. Sorry. Can you hear me okay? Garima, Keshav?
Yes, sir.
Sounds fine. Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for having me over. It's a privilege to come and present and be the keynote speaker for the IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. A very big congratulations to all the organizers for this amazing event. I can't stress how important it is. I wish I had more of these when I was actually graduating out of engineering college. I am a product of Professor Talele and SPIT. Back then it was still SPCE. Professor Talele was one of the best teachers that I had, and I think I owe a lot to the guidance that I received early on. But programs like these, I think, give a significantly more structured benefit to youngsters who are trying to take that leap into entrepreneurship. So once again, congratulations to everybody. I think it's a very, very important attempt to actually bootstrap entrepreneurship at the student body level. I also think that the opening remarks by Dr. Satyanarayan were perfect. I can't stress 3 points that he made strike a very strong chord. One is many times entrepreneurship is seen as a way for creating wealth for yourself as well as a lot of others, which is not wrong at all. But I think the kind of social impact as well as population level benefit that it can create, especially for a country like ours, is immense. And I think it has to be looked at from that perspective. The second one is about the importance of looking at entrepreneurship as a significantly more holistic challenge, right? We all emphasize a lot on technology and the importance of technology in a lot of the startups that we build. But like Dr. Satyanarayan was saying, finding product market fit, building great operations, building a marketing engine, and finally the finesse a product is needed to get it into the hands of everybody. The farmer that may be in what we call as a tier 2, tier 3 town or village, as well as the youngsters in colleges in Mumbai, Bangalore, etc., is a very, very difficult challenge. And to look at it holistically is extremely important. And I think finally, one of the points that is very important to me, which I'll try to also cover through the presentation that I have, is about the fact that technology is a double-edged sword, right? It creates significant amount of impact at scale, but it also reduces jobs significantly. So I think one of the ways to look at entrepreneurship is more of a necessity rather than a luxury. I think going forward, the job creation engine is going to be through entrepreneurs and youngsters creating companies which are creating more jobs, and not really about people getting into the formalized job segment. So I think entrepreneurship plays a much larger role in terms of trying to create more employment in the country, and we need more people getting into that. I mean, We have been a country, by the way, of entrepreneurs. The tea shop around the corner, the restaurants, they're all entrepreneurs, right? The next is the technology revolution, where entrepreneurship is more about technology startups, and technology startups can also create jobs at scale. And that's one other lens I think all of you all should take. So I think very pertinent points that were made by Doctor. So I'll get on with my presentation. I spoke to Professor Talele, and he said that it would be great for me to take all of you all through my journey over the last couple of decades and shed some light on some of my learnings and maybe a little on where I've got to with PhonePe and what are the plans ahead to kind of keep this going. So that's the flow of the conversation. I'll share a couple of slides more as talking points. Garima, Keshav, can I take over and share screen?
Sure, sir.
Yes,
Sure,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Shreyas,
And
would you please mind
Stopping the presentation.
Yeah.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, great. So, so the flow of the conversation really is going to be about my journey up until PhonePe, where I'm at right now. Some of my learnings from the Flipkart journey, which has been what I call as a university for the country when it comes to building consumer internet startups in India, for India. PhonePe as an outcome of some of those learnings, as well as a final point, which is something I always like to share, especially with students, is incremental innovation, or what we call as business as usual, versus the new shiny object, whether it is deep learning or AI. I think both play a very important role. The tendency is to gravitate towards the extremely cutting edge, but sometimes incremental innovations basically take solutions that are not at scale to scale in a country like ours and have huge social impact. So I think a little about how to actually balance incremental innovation with cutting edge new products, right? So that's kind of the flow of the conversation. I'm not sure whether there's a model to entertain questions, but I'm happy to take questions at the end of it. It's not too many slides. So my journey so far, I graduated from SPC in 99, went off to do my master's in the US, and spent the first kind of 10 years of my career in the enterprise software space at Sun Microsystems, Andiamo Systems, and Cisco Systems. That was all in storage networking. 2009 is when I actually jumped into the entrepreneurial side. I am actually a reluctant entrepreneur. After spending 10 years in the embedded software space, I actually wanted to break into the consumer internet side for a very simple reason. I think in the enterprise side, the gratification cycle, as we call it, where you actually build products, put them out there, get the feedback to be able to improve it, is fairly long. And I'd spent 10 years wherein something that you build takes at least about 2 years before you're able to actually see the impact of it or actually get feedback on whether it's working or not. And obviously, the consumer internet was booming and the feedback loop was instantaneous. What you'd build, you'd come to know whether it's working or not almost instantaneously, right? And I wanted to experience that. And I couldn't break into, after 10 years in the enterprise side, I couldn't break into the Googles or the Yahoos at that point. So the only thing I could do was start up on my own. That's what led to Manoramic.com and Mime 360 in 2009 and 2011. We were building basically a digital content marketplace where we had digitized every Indian music track that was available in every language, right? Whether it was the Carnatic music or your latest Bollywood track or your Tamil tracks, it didn't matter. In fact, we were actually powering all legal streaming sites. Ghana.com, which I'm sure a lot of you all know today, launched with 100% of all their content powered by us. And that means not just the streaming music, but the album art, the search behind it, the metadata, all powered by APIs that we had built. And we got acquired by Flipkart in 2011 to build out Flight MP3, which was a music platform, and Flight eBooks, which was an ebooks platform like Kindle. Interesting fact, I am not just a student of SPC, but I'm also probably the first startup that graduated out of the what is now the SPTBI, the incubator that we have at Sardar Patel. So we were the first startup before it was formalized as an incubator and before the ESL grant came in. So very, very proud that we were that startup that started off in SPC in an environment of all students. All my first hires were students from SPC, and we built out that company that got acquired by Flipkart in 2011. Flipkart was an amazing journey. When I joined, we used to do around 20,000 orders a day. When I left Flipkart in 2015, we were doing 3 lakh deliveries a day, and they do, I'm sure, a couple of millions on a daily basis today. Some of the things that I'm extremely proud of there were we actually automated the entire warehouse, which basically meant that you're able to move from having a 4, 5 day, 6 day promise for delivery to actually making things like next day delivery, same day delivery happen. Also built out some of the largest automated e-commerce warehouses in the country. This was back in 2012, 2013 with 2 lakh square feet, which is small right now. Right now it goes into more than 1 million square feet as warehouses in a lot of places that both Amazon and Flipkart run in India. So it looks like a great run from 2000 to 2015, and obviously post 15 is where we started PhonePe, and I'll come to PhonePe a little later. But what I always like to do is take a look back and kind of build a report card for my own understanding. And if I take a view of my journey from a report card perspective, I think my first 10 years in the enterprise space was purely about learning. I think it was more about strong work ethics, working at the bits and bytes layer, spending a lot of long hours. We were lab rats, as we call it. And I think it gave great grounding for me to actually have the confidence to get into entrepreneurship. Our first venture, which was Manoramic.com, where we were actually selling music online, where people could pay for downloads, I would rate myself as naive or a D- or an epic fail. Primary thing was, I think we were excited significantly by the product that we were building. We were building, iTunes had launched that time a couple of years back, and we said, you know what, we'll build the next iTunes for India. I think the biggest obvious learning right now is that I don't think India needed an iTunes at that point, frankly, right? And this is a common mistake that most entrepreneurs do. We get excited by the idea, right? Ideas are really, learnings that I've had, ideas are dime a dozen. I mean, frankly, any fertile mind from morning to evening probably gets 10 or a dozen ideas on a daily basis. Most of them actually don't merit getting built into a product. It's great to tinker with. What you need to understand is whether you're really solving any problem, right? And whether you're really solving any problem at a certain level of scale where it deserves to get solved. Many times you're actually chasing an idea because you're married to the idea versus really solving a problem. And that was the primary failure of Manoramic.com. Now, Mind 360 was a pivot from Manoramic.com. So Manoramic.com was a website that allowed you to download music. Mind 360, we became from a B2C to a B2B. What we started really doing with Mind 360 was powering other websites using our technology platform, where we had digitized the content, we had aggregated the content, we had built API layers for search on top of the content, which is not easy given it's a very large catalog with multi-dimensional search. And we had built encryption technology to be able to actually stream the content in such a way that even if it's downloaded or ripped, you're not able to be played. So it's a DRM technology at that point, but it was a streaming DRM technology for which we had filed for an IP also. So at that point, what we realized is that the problem a lot of the legal publishers, I mean, this is the time when Sony in India was not sure how large a digital market was and did not try to actually get into it because they didn't know how to actually power content digitally. So this is Sony, right? Obviously, I remember meeting with T Series, the head of T Series, and the only channel they had was YouTube. And they were thinking at that point that probably their songs play 1,000 to 2,000 times a day on YouTube. They were that ignorant about the fact that how much is the scale that digital can reach when it was already millions at that point, right? So we realized that there is a market that is not being served, and content can be taken in a manner where you are able to actually protect it, you're able to measure it, and you're able to bill for it from all the legal sites that are streaming it. And that's when we built the platform MIME 360. So I call it lucky because this was a pivot, and this is extremely important. In every entrepreneur's life, you will find multiple pivots. It's very, very important to identify a pivot, and I'll explain what our pivot was. Weigh the cost benefit analysis of continuing down the path that you're already in or taking a pivot, and then making sure that you do what we call as a fast fail on your current approach and take the new approach if your cost benefit analysis suggests that you should do that. So we were running this music download site. We had licensed all this content, spent a lot of money, and it was going nowhere. So Google at that point was launching what was called Google Music India, right? It was actually a site that allowed you to stream music. And they went to Saregama and Sony and said, can we license your content? They said, you can license it, but we don't have the digital content. There is a small company called manoramic.com that has digitized all the content. Why don't you go take it from them? So Google came to us and asked that whether they could purchase the content. So we told Google that that's our IP. It's taken a lot of time and effort to digitize all this content, build a catalog, and build this platform. What we'll do is we'll power the content for you. We will not sell the content, and we'll charge you per API, which is what is today called as a software as a service business, SaaS business, right? And again, these terms were not there, by the way, 10 years back. It might seem funny to you guys. Google laughed us out of the building, said that, sorry, you can't power us. And they said that, you know what, we'll try to digitize it. What they realized is that the time to market, we had spent a year digitizing this, and they had the opportunity to go live overnight with us. So they said, you know what, they came back, they said, we'll do a scale test on you. If you stand up to the scale test, we will then actually allow you to power the content. So they did a scale test from IPs across the world. We stood up to around 200 GB per minute of stream content at that point. That was good enough for them. They actually appreciated it. In fact, gave us a certificate of Google certified as scale. And we started powering Google Music India, which was the pivot. So we shut down manoramic.com, and the exact same platform, we started powering Google Music. That led us to power Savan, Dingana, T Series. There was a conversation with Spotify. They were planning to enter India, and they didn't enter. They entered much later, which is more recently. So we realized that at this point, we had actually solved a problem, which was information asymmetry. The labels like Sony, Saregama were not ready to give content to these people because they never really knew how much a content was worth. By having us as the middleware that was powering this content, they had real-time information about where a content was playing and how many times it was being played, and therefore they could attach a different value to every content, right? It was price arbitration based on content. And you must understand, for these labels, their only IP is the content. It is the copyright that they have on this content. The biggest thing was when Saregama said that, thanks to you guys, we have priced Chura Liya Hai Tumke, that track, very famous track, Chura Liya Hai Tumko, 10 times more than any other content because it's played 100 times more than any other song in India digitally, right? So that's the kind of information asymmetry that we solved. And it was basically bringing technology to an underserved market, but we were really lucky. So that's a pivot, right? So I think every entrepreneur needs to look out for these pivots because they're like the opportunities that come knocking on your door, and it goes away also very fast. After that, it was Flipkart and supply chain. So what is called eCart today. I started building out the entire technology platform for eCart. Everything from warehouse management, the transport systems, the last mile logistics, and ultimately the promise that you get. So if it's told that your product will be delivered by this date or on this date, or there's a faster option, that's a fairly complicated system. It's what we call as a operational research problem when you're in college. It's basically or a theory of constraints, where you have products available in different warehouses. You have a manpower that is varied across these places to be able to pack and ship. You have transport lines that have different capacity, and finally you have last mile logistics in the city, which has its own schedule of delivery. So what is the most optimal location from which an order needs to be shipped, and in how much time it can be delivered? So it's an operational research problem. To actually build that out at scale was the primary accomplishment I had at eCart. And I think I call that as studied, mainly because it was the first time I was able to actually realize that data is the only way that you can actually start differentiating, because technology is commoditized, right? In today's world, technology per se is commoditized. There is anything that used to take a year to build can be built in a week by a college student if they need to, because most of the technology stacks are available as open source. So technology is not going to, there are only few areas when it's very cutting edge research, wherein technology itself can play the role of a moat. But when it comes to the consumer internet, you have to assume that technology is commoditized. What sets you apart is data and the utilization of the data in an intelligent manner. So I think eCart for me was that learning. And from then on, data has been the North Star for me in terms of how we actually build technology platforms, how we scale it, how we optimize it for costs. One of the other things that Dr. Satyanarayan said, which is about cost optimization, extremely important to make a business viable, again, comes only through data. So the eCart stint for me was, I would say I passed, mainly because of the fact that I finally found something that could uncommoditize established models and therefore scale it significantly more and make it much more viable. And finally, it's PhonePe, where I am at right now. We started in late 2015 and December 2015, really. And I think I was much more prepared. So it took those 7 odd years as an entrepreneur before I could actually say that I feel much more comfortable in my skin trying to actually build something of the magnitude that we are operating at with PhonePe. Two key things. One is obviously starting to use data for efficiency and for innovation. So at eCart, we used it for efficiency, which is about cost optimizations and viability. Now we started using data for significant innovation. I'll give some examples. And we started also getting significantly more input driven and output driven, and I'll explain that more. Input driven is about trying to create more structured goodness in the business and the technology. Output driven is where you're just chasing very large scale metrics. And we realize that it's much more important to be input driven as an entrepreneur, because that's what builds what I would say a company that is built to last versus a company that can be disintermediated by a competition that has more capital. So if I'll specifically focus on a few points from the Flipkart journey, and the reason I put this in, I think some of these will strike a chord with a lot of the audience. And I'll tell you how these learnings have passed on to PhonePe and where we are at with PhonePe. So at Flipkart, we had started this very famous construct called flash sale for phones. Pretty sure a lot of you all might have actually bought your Redmi, your Xiaomi's, and your Samsungs on these flash sales. The flash sales are extremely difficult, by the way. So it seems easy. You have 50,000 units and you say that it's going to be available at noon and it sells off 30 seconds or 20 seconds past noon, right? So you have what is called in technology as the herd problem, wherein you're the stampede, where everybody starts to come in at the same time and your systems will crash because you're not built for that level of concurrency. And we learned that the hard way. And we realized that at that point, the choice of the technology stack can make all the difference. It's very, very easy as an entrepreneur to put together a technology stack that is functionally working, right? Today, you need nothing. In fact, I tell software engineers that You guys are a breed of cut paste engineers. We are a breed of bits and byte engineers. You guys have all the libraries available and you can put together, you have a framework, you'll have a microservice come up, you'll host it on AWS and you're good to go. But the choice of the stack and the design matters a lot because functionally everything will work, but at scale, everything breaks down so rapidly and you wouldn't know what to do. So I think here, a very simple thing, right? We learned that ultimately your database needs to actually operate out of the fastest possible memory because otherwise the IOPS, the read write rate at which you're able to do for very high concurrent traffic, your database will crash and then it's very difficult to recover, right? So starting right from there and then to have layers and layers of atomic caching on top of it so that you're able to manage the kind of scale. So we created this construct of or what you'd call as artificial demand, where it feels exclusive. 20,000 units available for the first 20,000 people who come in for a population of 1 billion. Just think about that problem, right? So at the extreme, it's like 1 billion people chasing 20,000 chairs, musical chairs, and you have to build systems for that. So choosing your technology stack for the problem that you're solving, extremely important. Hustle to get the stack up just because it's functionally working is not important, right? Building it so that it is able to sustain the problem at the scale that you're operating at, extremely important. I think that's the very, very big learning. Second was the famous Big Billion Day, the first Big Billion Day. And we started at 8 a.m. and we crashed the payment gateways of Axis, SBI, and I think Standard Chartered at that point in the first 5 minutes of the sale, right? That was the kind of craziness that we saw when the first Big Billion Day launched. And there the learning was much more than just the technology stack. It was about saying that ultimately when you're chasing these, what we call as BHAG problems, big, hairy, audacious goals that all entrepreneurs chase, you are an entrepreneur. You believe that you can actually hit this out of the ballpark, that this is going to be really, really huge. But when we start a company or start a product, we become extremely jugadu. We actually say that let's build something in the fastest possible manner because we want to show results. They actually don't go together. You can't be thinking that you're going to solve for world peace and be able to do it in 1 hour, right? So there has to be some balance about how do you future provision yourself for the scale of the problem that you're solving for. So I think staying ahead of tech debt was a huge learning. Growth over revenue and cost, tough learning. So for the longest time at Flipkart, we chased numbers of growth without giving enough importance to our revenue and our cost structure, right? And then what happens is you're left, like a lot of the startups, not just Flipkart, with a very, very large burn because you've not thought early enough about your revenue model and your cost structures. And lastly, I think mirroring Valley technology culture. Building, so I think the Googles, the Facebooks of the world have kind of spoiled culture to some extent because they've made being an engineer a privilege and a right, and it becomes very as high level of entitlement versus a real joy about solving the problem that you're really in for solving. And in India, it doesn't work, right? India is a country that most businesses are based on volumes and the value extraction is very, very limited. So businesses run on very, very thin margins and therefore trying to actually mirror a Valley technology culture of a lot of freebies, extremely high salaries, etc., actually is counterproductive for the Indian startup ecosystem. And I'm a very strong proponent of that. I keep talking about this to a lot of startups in the Bangalore sector. I think it's important to build a more value-driven culture versus a privilege-driven culture. So these have been some of my learnings. I'll move on a little quickly so that I don't overshoot my time. So the outcome of these learnings has been PhonePe. It's been, I'm extremely proud about where we got to, and I think there's a huge further headroom for us to actually grow and create impact. But today we operate with more than 300 million users, registered users. We process more than 50 million transactions on a daily basis. That's more than 5 crore transactions on a daily basis. That translates to around, we facilitate movement of money to the tune of 10,000 crores on a daily basis. That's the kind of, on a single day through the PhonePe platform, the amount of money that gets processed is around 10,000 crores. That's the 390 billion annualized transaction volume. From a tech perspective, we have more than 100 million sessions or app opens on a single day, and more than 300,000 matches. This is now closer to 500,000 requests per second on our servers, right? So on our Nginx servers on the edge, across all the nodes, we see 500,000 or 500,000 requests per second. So I think very, very proud. We touch almost the whole of India. We are at 19,000 pin codes with 20 million merchants across the country. So I think the scale has really come about because of the learnings that we've had. And the summary of those learnings is in terms of, one, solving a problem rather than an idea. Digital transactions and the scale of digital transactions was a problem. Looking at opportunities, identifying opportunities and betting big on them. We bet very big on UPI when it was very, very nascent. Even the banks didn't believe in UPI when we started saying that we want to build on top of UPI. That's how early we started, because we identified that opportunity. And lastly, using data for both efficiency as well as innovation. I'll give you a very simple example of data innovation, which has very high impact. So there is this, so PhonePe, you can do money transfers, like probably Keshav can send money to Garima. But Keshav may have two accounts of his own. He has a SBI account and an ICICI account. What we realized is that many times people are adding another account and creating what is called as an identifier to send money to their own account. They have a salary account and then they send it to another account. So we identified this through data and said that we should make a very simple pay to self option, which means that, hey, I have two accounts. Can I just transfer between them in a single click? It was nothing. It is basically a data-driven innovation. It was a data insight that people were doing this jugaad of trying to add another account so that they could just transfer money between their accounts. Let's make that simpler. Just data showed that. There was no technology build out needed for that. We had everything already there. We just had to actually facilitate that from the UI. We saw a 30% increase in our daily peer-to-peer transactions of those early days just by enabling that for the first week of the month. First week of the month is where people balance their accounts in the country. And every first week of the month, we continue to see a significant upside to our peer-to-peer transfers just because of that simple option of managing money yourself. And there is no technology needed to be built there. It was just a data insight. So I think using data incrementally in an innovative fashion is as important as building the next cutting-edge technology platform. So I'll keep this as my last slide, given the time. So some of the things that I believe are input principles that have made us fairly successful and I think are very, very important is, what is your core DNA? I think as a set of people, as founders, as entrepreneurs, you have to identify your core DNA. The core DNA could be technology, the core DNA could be operations, the core DNA could be marketing. But identifying your core DNA and significantly over-indexing on that is very important, because that's your inherent skill, inherent talent. So for us, our core DNA has been technology and data, right? So technology decisioning org is what we call ourselves. And then we have a certain set of principles that we operate on. For us, building an open transaction ecosystem and an open neutral platform, extremely important. That's how we differentiated ourselves from a Paytm in our early days, saying that closed loop networks don't work. We want to be always an open loop network. Building platforms for hypergrowth, which is what I was talking about, saying that if you're in to build for India, like our vision was saying that we will allow 1 billion Indians to transact on our platform. In that case, I can't build a Jugadu transaction platform that fails as soon as 1 lakh Indians come on board. So trying to build a platform that is designed for the future scale, extremely important to us. And finally, automating everything. We believe in automating everything because it just keeps things much more consistent. So I think identifying your core DNA and having a set of principles that you operate by, based on the skill set of the nuclear team that comes together, is extremely important for any startup, for any entrepreneur, because you will be most comfortable in your skin if you're building a company that is foundationally based on your inherent strengths. You'll be extremely uncomfortable if you're trying, like if you are a great marketing person, I think you have to find out how to use your marketing as your core strength and not force yourself to become a technology company. Otherwise, you'll always fail, because the next technology company whose core strength is that will come and beat you. So I think just identifying that and over-indexing on that, extremely important. that's all I really had. Thank you so much for entertaining me, and hopefully wasn't a very boring monologue.
So it wasn't. It was quite insightful actually. Shreyas, can you please share your slide?
Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for your insightful talk. And just I wanted to just point out the copy paste thing that you included for developers. Like, it's funny, like, we actually feel a lot when somebody says that we only do copy pasting, but that is the thing as of now. That's the entirety of what technology is all about.
It's not to make young engineers feel bad. It is to just make you understand that is great. I think it brings speed, but
right, sir.
Having to go much beyond that into design patterns and all is extremely important.
Yeah, sir. Right. Extremely. Okay. So on behalf of IEEE Bombay section and the entire organizing team, we express our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Rahul Chari for his valuable time and insightful presence during the IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rahul. Whenever I listen to you, it always reminds me my teacher and teaching in me. And we feel proud of you, and like many others who has inspired by your experience. Thank you so much. And I would like to connect with you all the time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for having me. Cheers.
Thank you, sir. We express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. B. Satyanarayana for his valuable time and insightful presence during the bootcamp.
We express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. D. Suryanarayana for his insightful, valuable time and insightful presence.
We express our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Anand Gharpure for his valuable time and insightful presence.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
We express our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Abhay Phansekar for his valuable time and insightful presence.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. B. N. Chaudhary for his valuable time and insightful presence.
We express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Saurabh Mehta for his valuable time and insightful presence.
We express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. S. T. Gandhi for his valuable time and insightful presence.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, we express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Vikram Patil for his valuable time and insightful presence. Post the exciting inaugural ceremony and the inspiring speech by our honorable guest, Mr. Rahul Chari, we hope that we will be able to learn a lot of new things and be excited and learn all kind of new things during the upcoming sessions. So
we have an We have an interactive lineup of sessions planned for you all, and we heartily welcome you all for the same. The schedule for the first day is as follows. We have a Napkin Pitch session by Judika Cruz, followed by activity of the day, that is, creating an introductory pitch. And lastly, an influencer talk by Reina Khatri Tandon. A link for the feedback form will be shared with you all, which is mandatory to fill. After submission of this feedback form, you will be awarded 10 points. A total score of 40 or more points out of 60 points will make you eligible for the certificate of the bootcamp. We also have in store an IEEE quiz, for which the first person with maximum score will be declared as a winner. and will be awarded with exciting prizes.
Let us now start our day with the very first session titled Napkin Pitch by Judika Cruz. Born in the metropolitan city of Mumbai, Judika, an inner image specialist, has an eclectic sense of presentation and style. In the corporate world, she has risen up from the post of a personal assistant to the position of branch manager by sheer grit and determination.
Having dealt with the subtleties of domestic life too, Jyotika understands the challenges that men and women face in juggling between home, professional, and personal lives. It is therefore her passion and mission to assist people navigate through the maze of life. Thank you, ma'am, for being here to mentor and guide the attendees. Ma'am, may I now request you to deliver the session?
Thank you so much, Garima. Thank you so much for the introduction. And I'm so happy to be here amongst all of y'all. Thank you, Mr. Talele, and thank you, Mr. Dinesh Asrani as well, for this wonderful opportunity that you have given to me. Listening to my own introduction, I was a little bit like perturbed because the branch manager thing seems to be like so long ago. I've come a long way after that, and being on my entrepreneurial journey has seen a lot of ups and downs, and I have kind of added a lot of more other ventures to my own kitty during my journey. And today I'll be sharing with you what I can, in a way of inspiring the new entrepreneurs who are wanting to set up their own businesses and venture out into the industry and into the market and making it big on their own. So, welcome all of you, all you aspiring startup professionals, and all you engineering students who would like to take up the engineering profession a little further through your entrepreneurial ventures. Let's begin with asking yourselves, or rather, I'd like to ask you a very, very important question. Who exactly are you? We have been listening to Mr. Chari so far, and we have seen mind-boggling figures, a lot of technical stuff, and that is so much an aspect of being an entrepreneur. While that remains the main focus of you moving forward in your entrepreneurial journey and crunching numbers and doing everything, there is a person behind all this crunching of numbers and all these activities that you need to do as an entrepreneur in your life, and that person is you. And today I want to introduce you to that person, to yourself. So let's begin with asking yourselves, who are you? Do you like yourself? Do you have any inhibitions about yourself? What do you really feel about yourself? You might want to take this venture forward as an entrepreneur, or some of you might be thinking of like just getting an employment and working for in the industry. So if you are an employee, you would be working for others and making their dreams come true, whoever's venture you are working for. And if you choose to become an employer, an entrepreneur, then you are living your dreams and helping many more other people to earn a livelihood and become an inspiration source for them as well. Either ways, to become successful, you have to impress people with your work, right? So assuming that you love your work, you will be putting in all the efforts to make it as impressionable as possible, right? And that is what the napkin pitch is all about. Impressing the other person, whoever it might be. It could be your investor, it could be your prospective partner or prospective client or customer. So the napkin pitch is about impressing this other person in the shortest period of time with the least amount of peripherals or aid. Just imagine yourself being caught with this wonderful prospect a person in a coffee shop and you have absolutely nothing at your disposal. So, how would you pitch your business, your venture to this person in the shortest period of time? Probably you'll pick up a napkin, a tissue, which is available in in all coffee shops, and that is how you will like probably write something on it and try and bring that person to an understanding about what your business is about and how you want him to become a part of your venture. But before you do all that, the most important thing is it enough? Is it really enough to impress your client with only your product and your work? Or is there more to the selling and the pitching to a client? Yes, I would definitely say that there is so much more than pitching to a client about your work, your product, your venture, and your partnership or whatever you are focusing on at that point of time. So before buying your product or listening to your project or your service, the client first needs to be impressed by you. And he buys you before he buys your product. When I say he buys you, I am referring to the BUY. He buys you first. So, yes, you have to put yourself up in the market, in the industry, put yourself on the stage, and make the most beautiful impression that you can make with your presence. So your work is could be great, all right, and because you love it, you normally would put so much of hard work into it. Now let me ask you something very important today. How much of hard work do you put into building yourself? It's a very important question. I do hope all of you all have a notebook or a pen and paper along with you, because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions which will be very much introspective, and I would want you to write down those questions and the answers to it as we go along this session and as we keep progressing to through the session. Okay, so the very first question is like, how much do you love yourself? How much of an effort do you put into building yourself? You put effort into building your business, but do you put effort into building your own self? Into making yourself likable, impressionable, and saleable to the client? Some of you might take objection to this word saleable and that you are on sale, or somebody is, that I'm referring to the whole concept as somebody buying you before they buy your product. No offense, but that is the truth. I'll come to it in more detail a little further on. Okay, so right now let's begin with a little exploration of getting to know yourself, and let's keep this a little interactive in a way that you actually write down these questions and write down the answers as well. Okay, so here we go. So the first question now I'm going to ask you under the earlier subheading of do you love yourself is like, how much of an effort are you putting into yourself, and do you really love yourself? Answer would be a very simple yes or a no. So whatever it is, just put it down in your notebook and we'll take it further from there. If you have said a yes, okay, very proud of you, wonderful work, keep going. If you have said no, I would like to ask you, why? Where is it that you feel you are falling short? Even for those people who have said yes, I would still ask you to introspect a little more with the second question. Ask yourselves, when you talk about yourself, what do you really say? When you talk about yourselves, what do you say? Do you say, oh, I am not able to do this? oh, I'm a little weak in this area, or probably you say, I am fantastic. The ones who have said, yes, yes, I love myself, you all might have said, like, yes, I am fantastic. Yes, I am the best. Yes, I am wonderful. Lovely. But these are all abstract state words. Wonderful, fantastic. These words are not quantifiable, right? Very abstract. So, what you need to actually say about yourself is like, I am able to do this, this, this. I am capable of being a wonderful leader. I am able to lead a team. You understand what I'm saying now? Okay, when you talk about yourself, don't just talk in abstract terms, make it quantifiable, make it descriptive, so that you know exactly what you are, who you are, and what you are capable of becoming as an entrepreneur and taking your startup forward. I hope you have written your answers to this question. When you talk about yourself, what do you say? We'll now move on to the third question, and that is, when people compliment you, how do you respond? Many people you might respond with, oh, it's nothing. When somebody says, oh, especially the girls, I would really like to point it out over here, not being sexist, but just a general observation, that when they are told that, oh, you look beautiful, they will retreat back and they will like, oh, it's nothing, it's the dress. Oh, it's the makeup. I'm wearing makeup today, that's why I look good. Why would you not just accept the compliment for what it is? The person said, you look beautiful. Simply say, thank you. I appreciate that you have given me a compliment. Just say thank you. How difficult is that? The moment you say that, oh, it's nothing, oh, this is, I'm all right. If even for the boys or the men, when somebody says, oh, good job, like, some of them might take it wonderfully and say like, yes, I did that. But some of them might say like, oh, it's teamwork. Yes, it was teamwork, but this person is actually complimenting you. It's very nice of you to give the credit to your team as well. But before you give credit to your team, why don't you just say, yes, thank you. I know I did a wonderful job. So you are accepting that, yes, you are that wonderful person who accomplished something. Don't discount a compliment, don't deny a compliment to yourself. So, have you written down the answer to this question? What do you respond? How do you respond when people compliment you? And if it is anything like what I had mentioned earlier, I would strongly urge you to next time gracefully accept the compliment, because that is what who you are, isn't it? So gracefully accept it, that yes, you are this person who accomplished something, you are this person who is beautiful, you are this person who is capable of so much more. Okay, so moving on to the fourth question. When people criticize you, how do you respond? Now, this is a tricky one. When people criticize you, how do you respond? Well, most of us would feel offended, isn't it? We feel like, oh, who the hell is he or she to judge me? What does he know? What does she know what I did? Or like, how much hard work I went through and all. Like, again, take a step back. Think, what is this person talking about? Think about it as, how do we call that? On whatever the criticism has been. I hope I'm audible enough because my
Yeah, ma'am. Just like before you were thinking of a word, you just got paused for a little bit. So it would be great if you
yeah
could repeat yourself.
Yes.
yes it was showing my internet is a little unstable. Yeah. Okay. So where did you lose me?
So, ma'am, you were saying that you were thinking about a word.
On how do you
Okay. So look at it as constructive criticism. Okay, look at it from the point of view where you can improve on whatever has been told to you. Probably it is for your own benefit. Don't look at it as somebody who is trying to put you down or trying to uh, make you feel bad or anything of that sort. Take it in the right spirit. Look at it as constructive criticism and make the amends, make the changes that you need to make. That will help you so much in the future in building a better entrepreneurial venture, a better team, a better project, and of course, a better you as well. All right. So, moving on to the next question. Question number 5. What are your negatives in relation to your work? Okay. Now, I'm not asking you as a person, I'm asking you the negatives as in relation to your work. Note the question down properly, very carefully, and tell me what are the negatives that you are facing in relation to your work. For example, um, you may be able to do certain things very fluently, very easily, but there could be certain aspects of your job, of your entrepreneurial journey that you may not be so very good at. Like when Mr. Chari was talking about the technological stuff, honest to God, it went all over my head. I'm not a very technological person. I'm more of a psychological person. I understand more of psychology. I understand more of emotion. When it comes to the numbers, when it comes to technology, I'd rather give it to the experts, okay, in my team who are better at it than I am. So whatever negatives are there, those are my negatives. I admit it. I absolutely own this. Like, yes, I am not able to do everything when it comes to my uh, venture or when it comes to my business. And you don't have to do everything by yourself. Delegation, that is a word. It's not just a word, it is also a very important aspect of your business so that the work is distributed. So look at what negatives are there in you in relation to your work. Probably you could delegate it to your team members or to your partner and take a back seat and concentrate more on the positives that are there in you. Okay, and that exactly is the next question. What are your positives in relation to your work? So, like I said, you could be good at something and you can hone on those skills, you can upgrade on those particular skills, and make yourself a better leader, a better entrepreneur, a better person. Okay. So, yes, so those were the negatives and positives in relation to your work. The next one is how do you deal with obstacles and failures? This is a very, very, very profound aspect of any entrepreneurial journey. You will face so many obstacles, you will face so many failures, but the point to be kept in mind is that you need to keep going on. You might have failed in certain areas, you might have failed in the entire venture or in the entire startup. It could have been like wrong from the word go, but at least you tried, right? And that is absolutely fantastic. Not many people brave the journey of an entrepreneurial life. It is a tough life because you are not just the employer there, you are the employee also. And doing this dual job in your journey is something to be absolutely proud of. And sometimes, if you do face obstacles or failures, you need to take it in your stride and just keep going on. Find another way, find a different opening, open another door, and just keep forging ahead. Don't get bogged down by obstacles. I would really like you to write the very, very honest answer in your notebook about this question: how do you deal with your obstacles? Because the more honest you are, the more is your willingness to improve on your character, on yourself, on your personality, and of course, your business as well. All right? Remember, when you know your weaknesses and your strengths, when you know what gives you the joy and what makes you want to give up, you are able to be in better control of yourself. When you think positively about yourself, when you're absolutely confident that other people's criticisms doesn't matter to you, and you only see the good side of those criticisms, the brilliance in behind those criticisms, that is when you will be able to give your 100% to your client, to your business, to your partner, and to your investors. When your cup is full, okay, that is when you are able and willing to share with others and be able to pour into their cups and fill their cups as well. If your cup is empty, what are you going to give others? There's nothing to give. And then it's all a futile venture all through. So fill your cup first and then help others to fill theirs as well. And you'll be able to give this way, you'll be able to give value to your customers. You will be ready and able to give them what they want. Now, this is very important. What they want. Here again, I would say we come to a further, deeper introspection. The first segment, we saw those 7 questions, and this is the second segment now, asking you now, what is it that you want? We are always looking at what the customer wants, what can we give the customer, what can we create that the customer can make use of. Pause a little, take a look at yourself, and ask yourself, what is it that you want? What do you really want? For example, when you go shopping, what do you expect from the salesperson there? Just imagine yourself shopping in a mall, and out there, there are a lot of sales people on the floor, and one of them approaches you, or you approach them, and you ask the person about a particular item that you picked off the shelf. If the salesperson is able to give you proper details about the product, and if what he or she wants or what you wanted is not available, if they are able to make alternate arrangements or suggest you some alternate product and are really helpful in giving you the attention, they are respectful in their speech, and they have complete product knowledge, and they understand what you want and how you want it within your budget. And the icing on the cake would then also be a guarantee that they will be there for you even after the sale is long done, right? Isn't this what we expect from another salesperson? When you feel the seller is meeting all these expectations of yours, attention, respectful speech, knowledge about the product, a wholesome understanding of where you are coming from, what you want and what you need, what your requirements are, your budget, and after sales service. When all these expectations of yours are met, then you develop a relationship with that particular salesperson. It's a professional relationship. Don't get too alarmed. Uh, so but you do have a kind of affinity to that particular salesperson, right? And next time when you go to that shop, you will probably look for that salesperson and want him or her to guide you through whatever you are there to purchase the next time. So, similarly, I would want you to introspect, have whatever relationship you build with your client. Similarly, what is your relationship with yourself? Do you give attention to yourself? Look at the main question again. This is the third segment I'm coming to. What is your relationship with yourself? Do you give attention to yourself? How you dress, how you behave, how you walk, how you talk? Are you aware of the way you speak? Are you aware of the tone of your voice? Are you aware of the volume at which you speak? Is it too loud or is it too screechy? Are you aware of the pitch of your voice? So, why is all this important? Because when you approach an investor with your, what is it called? The napkin pitch. Yeah. When you approach somebody, all these things matter a lot. Because first impressions are cracked in a few seconds of the first meeting. And if visually you are not pleasing to the eye of the person you're approaching, and if your voice is jarring, if your voice is too loud, if your voice is too scratchy or squeaky, a person can get put off. Wait, that's not all. There is also this whole aspect of, do you have the knowledge about your own qualities? Yeah, what's your relationship with yourself? Do you have the knowledge about your own qualities? Maybe you have a beautiful smile or a lovely dimple on your cheek or chin, a twinkle in your eye, or maybe you have the art of persuasion or putting someone at ease with your friendliness. There are so many qualities that you could have which you can utilize when you are pitching anything to a client or to an investor or to any prospective person. All these things are very important. As you are aware of your qualities, it is also important to see if you are aware of what you are lacking in terms of skills. Just a minute. Okay. I thought there were some messages there. All right. So, just as you are supposed to be aware of your own qualities, you should be aware of what you are lacking in terms of skills. Now, these are personal skills. Earlier, we spoke about everything in terms of in relation to your work. Now, this is very personal, like your appearance, your voice, your speech, your own qualities of friendliness, of persuasion, and so on. And similarly, the skills that you might be lacking. Are you short tempered? Do you get impatient with people very quickly? Or are you weak at designing? Or are you not able to hold the team together? All these skills are required, but if you do not have them, it would be very important for you to take a note of them, understand your relationship with yourself, and hone these skills, develop these skills. Do you appear scary to anybody? Do you appear overly aggressive when you approach somebody? It can be quite daunting for a person if you appear aggressive, or if you are very insistent, or if you're butting in when they are very busy. So You need to hone all these skills, harness all the negatives, and hone all the positives, whatever characteristics you have in your personality. Again, are you aware of what new skill you need to acquire to become better? Now, the last point where you might have pointed out to yourself the skills that you may have been lacking, okay, character wise, personality wise, those very you aware of what new skills you need to acquire. So if you don't have, you're lacking them, obviously you need to improve on them and make them better. Have you lost me again? Okay. So the previous question's answer should give you a fair idea of what you need to improve in yourself. So far, so clear, right? Right. Now, before selling your product, like I was saying to you earlier, people buy you before they buy your product. So before selling your product to a client, you have to sell yourself to the client. If the client likes you, they will definitely buy your product. If they don't, they may not even look at your product or whatever idea you're pitching to them. Sounds very crude, sounds very like crass, but yes, that is the truth of life. Selling is um and when you are an entrepreneur, you are selling day in and day out, not just your business, but yourself as well. You have to stay absolutely on top of your game in the industry, in your business, so that they buy you before they buy your product. There is absolutely no need to feel shy of selling or saying that, oh, what is this woman talking about? And I don't have to sell myself. I don't need to do that. But let me bring some home realities to you. Okay. Very often we say, I can't sell, I cannot pitch, I can't do this, I can't do that. But your entire business is dependent on this one major aspect of you being able to approach the other person without any inhibitions, pitch your idea to that person, pitch your venture to that person, and get on with your entrepreneurial journey and business. If you feel you can't sell, you can't talk to another person, you can't
Ma'am?
Judika ma'am, you are on mute.
Muted, ma'am.
All right. Am I back?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I am so sorry about the internet. I don't know what's happening today.
No issues, ma'am. You got disconnected. You were saying like when you are trying to like speak, like tell someone something.
Okay. So you might think that like, okay, I can't sell, I cannot pitch, I can't do this, I can't do that. What is this woman talking about? Why is she insisting on selling myself? Sell you, sell yourself, sell yourself. Or what? Why is she being so insistent about it? But that is the bane, that is the pain of every business. And it is also the major gain of every business, of every entrepreneurial journey. If you can pitch, if you can sell yourself without any inhibitions, if you can approach another person without any inhibitions, then you are very well progressing in your entrepreneurial journey. Your business depends on you speaking to another person, pitching your business, selling your ideas, and selling yourself as a person. Let me tell you, there's not a single person in this room who cannot sell. If you're saying that I can't pitch, I can't sell, you are just denying yourself the most natural thing that comes to everybody in the world. All of you can sell because honestly, you all have been doing it all your life. We have been doing it all our life. You don't believe me? Let me give you an example. If a small child is crying, okay, parents take the child to a toy shop, say, and the child sees a beautiful toy and parents say like, nah, we can't have that. You might have this other toy, but not that one. The child is going to throw a tantrum. The child is going to be crying for that toy which he will give in and buy that toy for the child. What has happened over here? The parents have bought the tantrum of that child, right? The child has sold himself by crying to the parents. It's the art of convincing, it's the art of persuasion. Can you see, right from childhood, everybody has Am I back? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you're on.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I was saying, if a girl wants to impress a boy, or if a boy wants to impress a girl, wanting to have the other one as a girlfriend or boyfriend for themselves, what does the person do? The girl is going, what do you think is happening here? The boy is selling himself to her, and the girl is selling herself to him. It's a very subtle way of getting what you want. Can you see that? We all have this art of convincing. We all have this art of persuasion. And one way or the other, subtly, covertly, or overtly, we are always doing the business of selling. Maybe money is not involved. Money is not involved. Emotions are involved. Behavior is involved. Personalities are involved. So yeah, there's a bargain or exchange happening of another kind, right? We also bargain at shops, and shops keep able to actually go ahead and make a pitch or ask for something. If you are confused in your mind about what business you are into or how your plan for the business is supposed to pan out, then obviously you're not going to be able to pitch to the person the person of interest that you have in mind, right? So you should know if you are valuable enough to the other person for them to give you what you want. And when you know what you want, you become valuable. You are asking for, or whatever it is that you are wanting from them, wanting them to buy from you, you will be able to approach them. So, again, write down a few questions for yourself for introspection. Do you know what you need and what you want in order to grow as a person, as in your personality, as in your business? Do you really know what you need and what you want? Pay attention to that. Because that is going to determine whether you know your value and your worth. Remember the L'Oreal ads? They keep saying you're worth it. And the models who come in those ads, they also say, I am worth it. You've seen Shah Rukh Khan, the Bollywood hero. He just spreads his hand and says, I am the best. Why? Why are they saying this? I am. That is why they can say that with so much confidence. They know themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, I'm back. I think you lost me for a second or so.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible clearly.
Yeah. Okay. So why are they able to say that, yes, I am worth it? Why is he able to say I am best? And why are they not lowering their prices in any manner whatsoever? That is because they know their value. That is why they can say that with so much confidence. They know themselves. The first thing to understand and know and have in-depth knowledge about is you. So ask yourselves, how much do you really know yourself? The more good things you know about yourself, the more you will value yourself. The more negatives you know about yourself, well, the more you will not be able to value yourself. But the good news is, the more negatives you know about yourself, the more you're able to improve on yourself and add value to yourself. How's that? Isn't that brilliant? So you get the best of both worlds by knowing your good side and your bad side. Embrace it. Everything comes with value. Seek the value in everything, even the good and even the bad. That is how you add value to yourself. The introspection that I've run you through earlier should also give you a fair idea of what you are worth and how you can still improve on your value, your personal value, by turning your negatives into positives. So basically, when you know your value, then you're not shy about selling yourself, for asking the price that you want for your product, and of course, even creating that impression at the napkin pitch. Right? There are people who charge a couple or more lakhs of dollars, rupees, or whatever currency you might want to put it at, for a product and service, right? And then there are people who sell similar products or services at a much, much lesser price. Can you imagine can you tell me what the difference is all about? Yes, the difference is all about the value. The previous ones who are willing to sell their products at a higher price, not compromising on the price or the cost that they have quoted, well, they value their product. And the person who is willing to bargain with you and still lower his or her price, they themselves know that their product is not all that valuable. And that's why they compromise on the price. But if you know your product value, if you know your value and what you are bringing to the table, you do not compromise. You will never have to compromise. People will come to you and take what you are offering them. When you know your value and your worth, you will be creating that wonderful impression. Yes, I'm repeating it again and again. What I said a while ago. When you know your value and your worth, you are absolutely not shy of selling yourself, for asking the price that you want for your product, or even creating that impression at the napkin pitch. Even if you don't have the peripherals or the material to explain your product, the confidence of knowing the value of your product, yourself, knowing the value of your project, of your startup, of your venture, or your idea, the pitching to the investor or partner or client becomes so much more easier. You can still create a fantastic impression on that person if and when you know your value and worth. Remember, we are talking about here about the napkin pitch. So how would you sell yourself? Through the 4 quadrants. The napkin pitch is all about, like, dividing the napkin square into 4 quadrants. Okay, there'll be 4 squares in that one big napkin square. So the first quadrant would be all about description, goals, requirements, and monetization. Now, again, let's have a look how you apply this to your personality, to your character, to yourself. Description, the first quadrant, the first smaller square in the big square. Description. Before you think of describing your business to a client, I want to ask you to describe yourself. I would want you to quickly write down describing yourself. Yes, you know your business. Yes, you know your venture. You know your idea. But describe yourself also. Do you know yourself? Get to know yourself. Describe it. Put it down in writing. Just saying it in your head, like, yeah, I know I am like that. Yes, I am this. And yes, I am that. Yes, I will work on it. Doesn't really help. You have to actually write it down, see it, absorb it, and then work on it. So yeah, before you think of describing your business to your client, ask yourself to describe yourself on paper right away, right now. There's the second, while you're doing that, I am going to look at the next quadrant in the napkin square. Okay. The next quadrant is all about goals. Yes, you have business goals. Yes, you have financial goals, okay, for your business. And you have goals for your teammates, and you have goals for everything about your business, basically. Okay. Now I want you to think and write about the goals you have for yourself to become a better person, to become a better leader, to become a better entrepreneur, to improve the quality of your personality, to improve the quality of your characteristics, and so on and so forth. This is all about you. Goals for improving yourself. Okay, this is the second quadrant. Please do write it down right away, right now. It will help you to actually see where you are coming from, where you're going, and what you need to do to fill in the gap. Now, looking at the third quadrant. The third quadrant is all about requirements. Okay? You know the requirements of your business. You need infrastructure, you need technological gadgets, you need people, you need finances, you need capital, you need space, right? Okay, fantastic. That's your business plan. Happening with absolutely fantastic. But now, before you jot down the requirement of your business, I want you to make a note of what is it that you need to become a better person. What are your requirements? Remember, we have all done the introspection in the previous segments, looking at our negatives and positives in relation to business and also to relation to ourselves, everything. So this is all like just bringing it all together. Make a note of what it is that you need to become a better person. If you have answered all those questions, you will be able to fill in this requirement quadrant for yourself as for your person. Okay? So that was the third quadrant. And the last quadrant is all about monetization. Well, we are all doing business to get something out of it, right? Job satisfaction, service to humanity and everything and all is absolutely fantastic. But bottom line, business has to make money in order to survive and grow, isn't it? It is an energy mode. It is the energy on which the business thrives. Now, how do you apply this to your person, to your personality, to your character? So, before you think of monetizing on your business, I want you to think about the value that you bring to the table of the business. Remember, we spoke about value? What you are worth? What do you think you are worth? So that value, what is your value that you bring to the table of your business? Right? So the first quadrant was all about describing yourself. Second quadrant was all about the goals that you have set for yourself. You need to set for yourself. The third quadrant was about the requirements that you need to become the better person. And the fourth one was about what value do you bring to the table of your business. Remember, before impressing others, you need to impress yourself. Knowing your value is about impressing yourself, creating the right impression on yourself. The day you are able to create the right impression about yourself, on yourself, that is the day you will not hesitate in creating the right impression in front of others. Because when your cup is full, only then you will and you can and you will want to give others something to fill their cups to. Isn't it? So because when you know yourself, your strengths and your value, that's when your confidence rises. That's what gives you strength. And you're able to do a perfect napkin pitch. You love your business, right? And you work hard for it. Those of you who will be setting up your businesses, you will be doing it for the love of it, isn't it? Because you love that work. That is because you want to move ahead in that area of industry or whatever you're going into. So you love your business and you work very hard. You will work hard to make it grow by continuously innovating, reinventing ideas, and putting it all into action. But while you're doing that, make sure that you are loving yourself too. You are working hard to become a better person too. And you're putting it all into action, not just keeping it in your head, not just thinking that one day I will do it when I have the time or when I'm not so busy, when I don't have this plan to make, when I don't have this entrepreneurial so much stuff to do, and then I will sit and work on myself. No. You have to do this side by side. Because when you grow, your business grows. When you value yourself, others value your business. When you are worth it, others see the worth of your business, of your entrepreneurial venture. And whatever you're asking for, then you are definitely going to get it. When you're happy with yourself, with who you are, that is when you are happy with everything else in life. Just imagine if your business is growing and you haven't grown as a person, you haven't upgraded yourself as a person, how is it going to make you feel? You might be bogged down by physical ailments, you might be bogged down by mental stress, you might be feeling so exhausted trying to run that business. You don't want that to happen to you. So figure out who you are. When you are become that happy person, become that whole and complete person, the person you value, the person you see the worth in. Don't stand in front of a mirror and look at that person and say like, okay, you are worth it and you are. It's fantastic. It's a good motivational affirmation technique. Yes, it is. However, I would suggest you go one step further and use your smartphones. Okay? Use your smartphones and putting all these aspects of your personality into use, create a pitch. Pitch yourself to a prospective partner, pitch yourself to a prospective investor or to your client. Create that pitch, not practicing in front of a mirror, but record it on your mobile phone, on your camera. And then see how you appear in that recording. Look at your facial expressions, look at your hand movements, look at your body language, look at everything. Listen to the voice that comes through that recording. That way you will be able to point out where you need to improve. And you will be able to actually see who you are and becoming a better person and loving yourself, knowing who you are and what value you hold and how much you are worth. How worthwhile is your personality, how worthwhile is your character, and how much worth and value it adds to your entrepreneurial venture. Okay? So yes, when you are happy with yourself, with who you are, remember that's what we started with, who you are. When you are happy with yourself, with who you are, that is when you will be happy with everything in your life. So do remember that and work on yourselves and ask yourself today, who am I, what I want to become, and figure out what you're worth and what's your value. The day you impress yourself, the day you create the right impression of yourself on yourself, the day you're able to impress your own self, that is the day you will be able to conquer the world. If put it in Hindi, I would say, जिस दिन तुमने अपने आप को impress कर दिया, मान लो उस दिन आपने दुनिया जीत ली. Because you know your value, right? जिस दिन तुमने अपने आप को impress कर दिया, बॉस मान लो कि उस दिन आपने दुनिया को जीत लिया. And then there's nothing that can stop you. So begin with impressing yourself first before you venture out with that napkin pitch of yours to impress somebody else. Okay? So yes, thank you so much for listening to this entire session. that I have been talking in a monologue fashion all this time. I would have loved it. It would have been like, more interactive. But yes, this was also fantastic. I loved sharing all this with you. And I hope I have been able to add value to your entrepreneurial journey. To sign off, what I would like to do is give you a prefix, and you can fill in the blank after that prefix. Okay?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes?
Yeah, there are a few questions in the comment section. Would we like to take it up?
Yeah, just let me give them this prefix and then we'll take up the question.
Sure,
okay?
sure.
Yeah? So the prefix is I am. Okay? So I am, add whatever adjective, whatever statement you want after that. Whatever you add after that is your reality, will become your reality. So make sure you're adding what after the I am, something that is worthwhile and that is something of value. Okay? So yes, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Do create a video of the pitch that you will create, the napkin pitch that you will create, and be sure to upload the same so that we can have a look at what you have taken from this entire session here. All right. Okay, so I'm ready for the questions. What are the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So basically, it's from Bhushan, and he
Yes.
says that he is pretty much positive about talking to anyone, but
Okay.
because of some negative thoughts,
Yeah.
his momentum goes down. So what should he
Okay.
do about that?
Yes, that happens to a lot of us. The negative thoughts that come to us are most of the time because of past experiences. Okay, so when we have these past experiences which have kind of deterred us or put us on the back foot, we need to go and visit those negative experiences, find out what happened there, why it happened, remove the negative charge of that emotion, of that incident, and let go. Let go of that incident. Once you have seen that incident, once you know where that pulling back is coming from, you will very well be able to let it go and then move forward in your life. Okay? Does
Thank
that
you so
answer
much.
your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And yes, so the next
Yeah.
question is,
Yeah.
what all should we practice? Like, what exactly should we practice to improve our pitch?
Everything that I mentioned in the session. Okay. Improve on your dressing, improve on your speech, improve on your body language, improve on your internal feelings of feeling worthwhile and feeling valuable. And when you are to add value to yourself, feel worthwhile, you will have to constantly keep upgrading yourself. Your entrepreneurial journey, you have got this education right now, okay? But that's not the end of your learning. You will have to learn so many more little things that will help you to add to your entrepreneurial journey. So don't feel shy of learning something new, or don't be hung up on the fact that I spent so many years doing this degree course. I spent so much money on it and I am so great and this and that and all. A lot of students make that mistake. And expect that what time, money, and energy they spent in the college years is enough for them to, shoot them into the future to greater heights. Darlings, that is just the beginning of your journey. That was just the beginning of your journey. There is so much more practically you will have to keep learning to take yourself forward. So see, those opportunities will keep coming your way, and never ever deny yourself any kind of learning that comes your way. So keep growing by upgrading yourself all the time. All right?
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So
Yes,
next
sir.
is not a question, but someone has actually commented that the session is truly an eye-opener. Thanks to IEEE Bombay team for bringing up this kind of session. And the next is the really helpful, ma'am, for self-development.
Thank you.
These are the questions one should ask self to measure self-capabilities.
Yes, yes.
There are a lot more positive comments.
I hope everybody did write down those questions that I was sharing with all of you. Even if you all were not able to write the answers right now, sit with yourself later on and make it a point to answer those questions. It will help you immensely to grow along with your business, because the more you grow, the more your business is going to grow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome, Samir. Anything else? Any other questions?
No, nothing as of now. Thank you.
Okay, so this is me, Judika de Cruz, signing off. Thank you all for your patience and your lovely comments. And yeah, have a beautiful, beautiful entrepreneurial journey and a great life ahead. Abundance is waiting for you. Go grab it with both hands. Okay, all the best and see you later. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the beautiful and enlightening session. We express our heartfelt gratitude to you for your valuable time and presence for the IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. So thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. So, okay, everyone, we will now have a coffee break till 12 p.m. and we will after which we will resume with an activity for the day. For the link that we have sent, the feedback link that we have sent, we are working on fixing it if there are any troubles still. So keep checking it once in a while. And once like the link starts, kindly give your feedback for the program. Thank you so much. We will have a break for till 12 o'clock and let's meet after that. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome back to the post-break session of day 1 of IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. We shall commence with the activity schedule for today. I now invite Mr. Samir Sheikh to walk us through the details of today's activity. Samir, sir?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, here we are at the activity part. So, initially, after the session on self-development, the activity is to create a napkin pitch video, okay, which can be of around 30 to 40 seconds, where you need to introduce yourself and tell us about your qualities. And what you guys need to do is you need to record a video of this. Okay. And after recording the video, you need to put this up in your Google Drive itself. Okay. And at the end, once you're done, once you upload it in your Google Drive, you guys need to send the link of that Google Drive on an email ID, which is kiran.talele@ieee.org. I'll spell it out. It is KIRAN.TALELE@ieee.org. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this email ID on the comment section as well on YouTube, so that you guys don't miss out on that. Okay. And in this, again, as according to the session, you need to groom yourself, practice a bit, and try to make an effective video of yourself. You know how you're supposed to introduce yourself in front of others. Okay. I hope I'm clear with what you guys are supposed to do. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We hope that everyone has understood the instructions for the activity. In case anyone has any doubt, they can post it in the comment section of YouTube and we get it sorted right now.
So for this activity, we are giving them around 3 hours. And after that, we'll be having another session. I guess it is at 4 o'clock. That will be the influential talk.
Yes, sir.
So you guys have 3 hours. Participants, you guys have 3 hours to make your video, to practice, to make your video, and download or upload it on the Google Drive. And please share the link on the mentioned email ID.
A request. There's a slight change. Samir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, there's a slight change, everybody. Please don't share the link. Please don't share the link with us today. Share it with us on the last day. We'll, tell you where to share your activities, because a lot of activities are going to be coming in. Please create a folder on your drive where you can store all your activity sheets. And on the last day, you can share the entire activity with all of us on the mail that we give you. Sabine, I'm sorry we have to do this a little bit of here.
Yes, no problem, sir. I understand. Yeah.
So give some examples. Give some examples how to create a video. I told you day 1. Give some sample examples.
Team, do we have any sample example?
So it was as instructed in Judika ma'am's session. We don't have a video right now, but it was like the clear instructions and the guidelines were given by ma'am.
All right.
So like in case anyone has any doubts, they can just post it in the comment and we'll get it sorted out. Regarding the video making or any part of Judika ma'am's session.
Yes. In case of any doubt, you guys can please comment on the YouTube comment section, and we will get back to you on that.
Hello. Anyone there?
Yes, sir. How can I help?
Yeah. So, how is it going with the activity? For example, Judika has asked all of you to put in I am, correct? So what is it that can be filled after I am? Keshav, if I was to ask you, I am, what would your adjective be, which defines you?
So the first would be I am a learner. In that, that would be my first sentence. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. So this is how you need to fill up yourself. See, first thing is try to find out what are the keywords that define you, that describe you, and then leave a sentence around the keywords. For example, when I was trying to make my pitch to understand who I am, I found out I am an engineer. I love technology. I, have been an academician all my life, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I put down these 4 keywords and post that I weave the statement around it. I said, I'm an engineer by qualification, technologist by vocation, academician by passion, and an entrepreneur by choice. That's how I said what I am. I want all of you to think about yourselves, what you are, and make a statement. This will take a lot of time, so please give it that time. Yeah?
Thank you, sir, for the demonstration.
Keshav, you could ask a few other members who are there on the group if they could just give some examples for Aya.
Sure, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Can I add something to that, please?
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Please go ahead.
Hello? Yeah. So, like I said in the presentation earlier, when you're recording this video, don't practice in front of the mirror. Absolutely don't practice in front of the mirror, because you're looking at yourself and not really getting any feedback. You're just mirroring yourself. You're just trying to improvise there, but it doesn't happen like that. So the best thing would be forget the mirror, take the camera, record it, and then look at how you have performed in that 30 seconds, and then probably make the improvements and then record again until you get it right. Okay? So do not press in front of the mirror. Don't do that. Doesn't work. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing those guidelines. Ma'am, do you wish to present any slide or any video?
No, darling.
Okay, ma'am.
Do you have time right now? Do you want me to do something?
Ma'am, if you wish to present any slide or just give an overview of how they can probably create the self-introduction video, then you can do that. We have time for it.
Probably I could take them through a meditative process where they can connect with their inner self, maybe just 10 minutes or so.
Yes, ma'am. I think it would be quite great to have that session. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want me to start right away?
Sure.
Or should we wait some time?
We can just wait for a moment in case anyone has any objections or any doubts. They can just put it in the chat box.
Okay.
And if we don't get any, then we can start with this session.
Sure.
Keshav, are there any messages in the chat box on YouTube?
Not as of now. They were just the questions were just concerned about how are we going to submit. That Dinesh sir has already cleared it. So yeah, there are no questions as of now.
Yeah, ma'am. So I think we can start with that session. Do you send something?
Yeah, just a minute. I need to put my phone on silent.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
a minute.
Yeah.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So, so we have all been listening to how we need to, connect with our own self and find out who we are. And to understand that better, let's zone into our own selves through a meditative process and see how we feel about ourselves and what areas we need to improve. All right. So I would suggest all of you sit up straight with your back straight, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nostrils, feeling the air moving up through your nostrils, and breathe out. Feel the air once more. Go in and out of your nostrils. Breathe in deeply and exhale. Bring your attention to the soles of your feet and allow all your toes to relax one by one. Let the relaxation now move to the soles of your feet, to the upper part of your feet, and through your heels, moving up through your ankles and higher up. The relaxation now moves higher through your calves and your shins, riding up to your knees and up to your thighs. Feel this wave of relaxation completely calming all the nerves in your legs right up to your toes. Now that your legs are relaxed, feel the wave of calmness and total relaxation move up through your hips and through your lower torso, through your stomach area, your lower back, and up your chest, up to your shoulders. Allow this wave of relaxation to now flow down from your shoulders, through your arms, your elbows, your forehand, your palms, and right till the tips of your fingers. Feel this relaxation now move up your neck, to the back of your neck, moving up your skull and your chin, your cheeks, your jawline, up, higher up. This relaxation moves through your ears and up to your temples, your forehead, covering right till the top of your head. Your mind is relaxed, your body is relaxed, and you feel completely at ease with yourself. Focus your attention on your body. Feel it going absolutely quiet and silent. Connect with your heart. Focus on your heart. As you breathe in to your heart space and exhale from your heart. Once again, breathe into your heart and breathe out from your heart. Once again, now take a deep breath, allowing it to go to the center of your stomach area. And exhale from the center of your being around your stomach. You are now connected with your heart center and your solar plexus. The center of your heart is all about your emotions. Check in your heart space. What are the emotions that come up when you think of becoming a successful entrepreneur? Feel the vibrations in your heart space Are the vibrations soothing, or are the vibrations aggressive or uncomfortable? Do they feel empowering, or does your heart space get a sinking feeling? Or does your heart space feel joyful when you imagine and visualize yourself becoming an entrepreneur, setting up your own business, and it is growing strength by strength? Your team is becoming bigger. Your space, office space, is becoming bigger month by month, year by year. The revenue that comes in, the clientele that come in, everything about your business is expanding and becoming more bigger and bigger. Check in your heart space. How do you feel about this? Visualizing this growing business that you have started. Breathe into your heart and observe the feelings and the emotions that you experience when you understand, visualize, imagine setting up your business and it becoming larger and larger, bigger and bigger, more and more successful, day by day, month by month, year by year. Now, still breathing in gently, breathe into your stomach area, your solar plexus area, and holding the same vision of your expanding entrepreneurial journey, of your expanding business. Check, how does it feel in your stomach area? How does it feel in your back? How does it feel around your waist area? Does it feel expansive, or does it shrink, or is there a turmoil in the stomach area? Or is it calm and quiet like the sea waters? Gently rippling waves coming to the shore and going back? Or does it feel like there's a storm in the sea in the middle of your stomach? Visualize, experience, imagine your business growing day by day, your team hard at work, intermingling with each other, helping each other, communicating with each other, the business going through its ups and downs, some successful activities, some not so successful activities, clients coming in, bringing their own set of weirdness or happiness, and everything happening in your business. How does all this make you feel in your stomach area, in your solar plexus area? Do you feel in charge of your business, or do you feel it is all going out of hand? Do you feel you are comfortably able to control every aspect of your business? Or do you feel that you need more support, more people, more resources, and more of anything else that you may envisage to settle down the ups and downs in the business? Observe, feel, and acknowledge. keeping the vision of your business, your entrepreneurial journey, and your startup in front of your eyes, in your mind's eye, seeing it right there. Breathe life into this entrepreneurial venture. Allow this vision to settle in your third eye, in the middle of your forehead, between your eyebrows. Here you see your startup business being handled by you with beautiful, new, innovative ideas, with new resources, with new creative people joining in, and all of you working together in harmony with each other, working towards each goal with great success, and growing from strength to strength each day, each month, each year. Your vision, your dream, set between your eyebrows, in the middle of your forehead, your third eye. Give it the breath of your life. Infuse your breath into it. Breathe into this third eye. Breathe into this wonderful vision of your future, where you are becoming more and more successful, more and more richer, more and more abundant, more and more joyful, and more at peace with yourself. For having set up a beautiful entrepreneurial venture, not just for your own growth, but for the growth and the greater good of your community and humanity. All of you together are implementing this vision that you have started. All of you together are growing every day with each other. All of you are working hard towards making yourselves and this world a better place. Breathe this beautiful feeling of accomplishment into your third eye. And exhale. Once more, breathe into your third eye and feel the glory of your entrepreneurial journey. And breathe out. Breathe in once more, experiencing the success of your entrepreneurial journey. And exhale. Breathe in to your third eye. Breathe in the joy of having accomplished your dream, your vision. And exhale. Breathe in a lot of peace into your third eye. Breathe in a lot of joy, lot of abundance. And exhale. Slowly bring your awareness to your breathing. Allow this beautiful feeling of accomplishment of your dream and your vision set into every cell of your body. Allow it to imprint your DNA. Allow it to expand in every cell of your body, in every atom of your body, and in your DNA. Feel the beauty of it. Feel the happiness of it. Feel the peace and calm of having lived your life purpose. And looking forward to doing much more from year on and year after. Feel the joy in your body, in every cell. Feel the abundance in your body, in every cell and atom. And feel the calmness of it all in your bones, in your cells, in your atom, every atom, and in your DNA. Feeling whole and complete, accomplished and happy. Breathe in and out. Breathe in normally and breathe out normally. Take a couple of breaths normally, and as and when you feel comfortable, you can open your eyes with a beautiful smile on your face and a twinkle in your eyes and lots of hope in your heart and joy in your entire being. As and when you feel comfortable, you may open your eyes.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a really beautiful session.
Thank you. I love doing it. I hope you all loved it.
Yes, ma'am.
Experiencing it.
We were actually doing it side by side, and we really enjoyed the process of it.
I'm so happy. Thank you.
So, everyone, I think the doubts are clear regarding the activity, and you all can proceed with making the video. And in case you all have any doubts, you can just post it in the YouTube section, and we'll be there to clear those doubts. All the best. Okay, so for your reference, we also have a sample video ready. We'll present it right now. Shreyas, can you please share the video?
Yeah, just a
So you want to learn how to create the
Garima, is it audible?
Yeah, it's perfect.
So you want to learn how to create the perfect elevator pitch so that you can impress a potential employer or land a new client. In this video, you'll learn how long your elevator pitch should be and what you can say to spark interest, leaving the other person wanting to know more about you. And if you stay around until the end, you'll learn my simple formula that will save you time to create your own powerful pitch. If we've never met before, I'm Heather Austin from ProfessorAustin.com and the Career Club on Facebook. And on this channel, I teach simple solutions to help you build a business or launch a career you love. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button down below and the bell notification so you don't miss a thing. Whether you're a job seeker or an entrepreneur, having an elevator pitch is essential for your career progression. This simple yet powerful representation of who you are will give you more confidence when meeting with prospective clients, attending networking events, or job fairs. Before we jump into how to create the perfect pitch, remember that the purpose of an elevator pitch is to quickly let others know what your expertise are, what your greatest accomplishments are. It's designed to ignite a two-sided conversation. So think of it in terms of baseball. If you pitch a ball to someone, they're going to pitch it back to you. So you don't want to do all the rambling. You want to turn it into a two-sided conversation. So let's jump into it. Tip number 1, identify who you are and who you help. Start with a simple statement that quickly grabs the attention of the other person and piques their interest. Here's an example of how I would start my own elevator pitch. I am a career and business strategy coach, helping working professionals find a career that brings true happiness and fulfillment. The next step is to identify your why. To keep the other person engaged, mention why you do what you do. This will help you better explain your purpose and better clarify your passion and commitment to what you do. This will also be one of the reasons why the person you're talking to takes action in the end. So here's how I would explain this in my elevator pitch. One of my greatest passions is to provide award-winning career guidance to business professionals that want to learn top-notch job search strategies, LinkedIn tactics, interview prep skills, and even career transition approaches. Now, your elevator pitch is very similar to a professional bio. To learn more about how to write a short professional bio, I created a video that will help you do just that. I'll go ahead and link that one up below. Step number 3, explain what makes you unique. After you've mentioned who you are, who you help, and why you help them, you then want to talk about what makes you so special, what makes you different. An easy way to do this is to mention your greatest accomplishments. What are some of the largest problems you've solved or major contributions you've made? This will help keep the momentum going and will give you credibility. So here's how I would explain this in my elevator pitch. In addition to career strategy, I help my clients explore options for starting and growing a new business. I provide actionable advice to those that are striving to become entrepreneurs. Step number 4, include a call to action. Your goal at the end of your conversation should be to get the other person to take some type of action. This can be something as simple like an exchange of business cards or a request to connect on LinkedIn, or better yet, a follow-up meeting. Now, one of my favorite ways to get the other person to take action is by asking them a simple question. For example, I might say something like, is entrepreneurship something you've considered before? This will be the start of a new relationship and hopefully lead to your end goal. Step number 5, practice and revise. One of the best things you can do is to practice your elevator pitch out loud. Say it to family members, to friends, even colleagues or coworkers. And don't be afraid to change it. Your elevator pitch will go through different iterations and will change over time depending on your recent accomplishments or the problems you've solved. And remember, you don't want to ramble when it comes to your elevator pitch. You want to practice saying it within 30 seconds or less. Now, to make sure you get it right when it comes to your own elevator pitch, follow this simple formula. I am a and then list what you are. Helping, list who you help. One of my greatest passions is, and then list one of your passions here. I've been fortunate to, and then list some of the biggest problems you've solved or some of your greatest accomplishments. Have you ever, and then list the question you have to get them to take action in the end. Now, if you found this video useful, be sure to hit the like button below. If you know anyone that might benefit from this video, please feel free to share it with them. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.
We hope that this video gave you all the clear idea on how to make the elevator pitch. Shreyas, can you please present the slides? You all can now start on making your videos. In case you have any doubts, you can post it on the YouTube chat and we'll get it sorted. All the best. Keshav, do we have any doubts on the YouTube chat? Okay, so since we don't have any doubts right now, I will just reiterate the fact for submission. You all are supposed to create the video of 30 seconds and add it to your drive folders. We'll take the submission of all the activities at the end day, that is the 6th day of the boot camp. In the time being, you all can make the video and save it on drive. We'll now end this session right now, and we'll meet at 3:45 for the influencer talk by Ms. Rena Khatri Tandon. Till then, all the best for the activity and stay safe. Bye, guys.
you